Carton Thorne on behalf of the Albany Club.
Good afternoon. As mentioned, my name is Carton Thorne, and I'm here representing the Albany Club of Toronto, which is the owner of 91 King Street East. The club is contemplating redevelopment of a portion of the block, together with adjacent landowners, and consultants have already been retained in this regard. Of particular concern, the property is located at the southwest corner of King and Church and is no longer indicated as a high street. It was in the consultant's study, however. Regarding the High Street secondary High Street designation, the portion of King Street originally shown as a high street on both sides of the street between Toronto Street, north side of King, and Leader Lane on the south of King, and Church Street has been removed. The portion of Colburn Street, this street runs behind the club, parallel with King, shown as a secondary high street between Leader Lane and Church Street, has been removed. Revisions have also been made to delete certain street portions from the High Street's designation, King Street East, where staff has determined that a High Street designation would have the effect of diminishing the heritage character and value of buildings along those portions of the street. However, the original High Street designation should be restored for this block because there's no heritage building on the block and therefore no justification for removal of the designation. Moreover, existing buildings do not preclude development opportunity. Regarding heritage conservation, the property located in the St. Lawrence Area Heritage Conservation District Study area. The report contains policies respecting the transition down to heritage districts. In addition, the guidelines provide that where tall buildings are planned at intersections characterized by heritage buildings, the adjacent tall buildings should be massed to transition in height away from the intersection so as to retain the prominence of these corner heritage sites. However, the Albany Club takes the position that the policy should be flexible enough to recognize areas where there are no heritage buildings in order to permit higher buildings. Regarding the transition to lower scale areas, this is performance standard number 19, a specific setback number should not be applied. There needs to be flexibility to evaluate sites on a case-by-case basis to ensure appropriate planning. Regarding sunlight protection for parks and open space, which is performance standard number 20, the property is adjacent from St. James Park on the south side further to the east, which is identified as a signature park. However, the Albany Club takes the position that it is not a public park, therefore should not be considered a signature park. It's an inappropriate mechanism to control shadowing. Shadowing needs to be reviewed rather on a site-by-site basis to ensure appropriate development and control impacts. Appropriate tall building development can occur on the adjacent block without significant impacts on St. James Park. In summary, the Albany Club requests that Community Council not recommend adoption of these guidelines until further and appropriate amendments are made, and we request that it be referred back to staff for further consultation.
A question for you from Councillor McConnell.
Yes, you're reminding us, I think, that we haven't finished the heritage study, and actually the Albany Club has not been designated yet. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Yes, that's correct. But it is about to be, so you might want to think about that. The second thing is that with regards to, I understand what you're proposing because I also understand that you have a proposal that you'd like to put forward at some point. But I also question your knowledge of the St. James Park. And so St. James Park is considered both the lawn as well as the park, some of which is publicly owned and some of which is leased to the city as an open space. Is that not correct?
So can you repeat your sentence there?
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat? You said St. James Park is designated. I just wanted to make sure I'm understanding what your designation. If you could just repeat
because
it.
You're too busy writing down what I said. I said Are you aware that St. James Park is a public park? That it is a combination of public land and land that has been leased to the city for public use?
It's my understanding that it is not a public park, so.
Well, I think you'd like to correct your understanding.
Okay.
But that's my understanding of that. That's how we see that matter.
Any further questions?
Yes. One further question. Were you involved in the discussion around this particular block in the last go-round when there was a proposal that was put forward on Coburn Street with regards on the corner of Coburn and Church? Were you involved right behind your building in that discussion?
I don't have personal information as to the answer. I can't answer that question. I don't have information on that particular question.
Okay. So you might take back to your client. Is it your client? Is
Correct.
that what it is? Okay. So you might take back to your client the community consultation that occurred for future reference. Thank you.
Any further questions of the deputy? Okay, seeing none, thank you.